Hello, America. This here is David Vos, and this is Radio Free America coming live from Alabama. Well, I'm live anyway, and I know you're live, so we'll go with that. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's beautiful here in Alabama today. Friends, I want to share with you some more information. Again, there's going to be a few little negative things that we're going to have to let you know because, what is it? Ignorance is bliss. Well, we don't really want to be in that kind of bliss. We want to know what's going on so we can take precautions. But at the same time, we got a lot of good things to tell you. Brothers and sisters, we're going to be free very soon. The Lord's coming back. And it's wonderful. And it makes me glad. Oh, I'm so happy. Because no matter what we got to go through, it'll all be over in just a moment. Well, on your screen there, friends, you'll probably see what looks or appears to be a big wave. Now, what would we be doing with that? A big old wave like that on the screen. Well, you see how that works? You push it. When something happens like that, goes like that. Well, that's what causes big old tidal waves. Tsunamis. That's what causes that. When there is an earthquake so big or maybe a meteorite hits the water or a missile or something like that can cause, but a lot of times just earthquakes. So what causes the tidal wave just because of an earthquake? Well, the seismic activity in the earth is caused from the plates bumping up against each other, and there's cracks. There's like these little lines that go all over the world. And there's an actual science to this. And the ground is higher, of course. When the water comes up, it goes up into land. And it'll come, and all these areas that are on the coastal areas will be covered. And that's where most of the population of the world is. It's in these big cities like New York City and stuff. Well, there is what you would find if the earth were to shift on its axis. You see how the equator would be going right through Greenland and the Antarctic. See now, right there is where the equator is, but if it tilts, then what we're going to have here is Greenland is going to be the equator. And that means that the United States is going to be down still in an area where it's nice. Probably won't change much. It's just that we'll be in the southern hemisphere rather than the northern hemisphere. But we'll still have the basic same climates here in the United States. However, places like Greenland will now be tropical, and so will the Antarctic. Isn't that something? That'll be the equator. People will be moving to Antarctic, start building, exploring, right? A new adventure will arise. But when that happens, look at what will happen to the waves as they go north. It'll wipe out India, China, all the most populous places in the world. But notice who else is going to get a big brunt of this. The East Coast and the Gulf. Remember I said Texas and Florida and up through New York? Well, California too, but the coastlands. But it's going to be a direct hit. Direct hit, see, on the East Coast and up the Gulf. All those major cities, Texas, Houston, Florida, New York, all that's going to be wiped out, guys. Anyway, just a little model to show you what might happen. Now, besides that, there's other things that I'd like to show you today. You know that guy we were talking about, Mr. Charles Schwab? Who is this guy? Take a look at this.
I don't know how it will play out in November, but what we know is that we will end up with many more unemployed, and particularly also people in the grey economy, which are not counted for, who lose their jobs. So we will see definitively a lot of anger already now, but probably increased by the end of the year, because this crisis will be with us until we really have found a remedy. So we have to prepare for a more angry world.
Oh, so he's saying the world's going to be really angry when we pull this off, when we lay it on them. They're going to get angry. And it's going to be a problem, so I wonder what their fix to that problem will be. Maybe if they just, DPOP you late, we don't have to worry about any of that. And of course, we're going automated. We don't need these bums anymore. And doesn't this guy sound like Ein Führer or something? Well, there is certainly some talk about him being related to the Rothschilds. I'm not going to get into that debate because, Mr. Snopes says that's not true and we're not allowed to talk about that. But what we do know is he is, well, shall we say, of a particular religion that's of the Old Testament. Can we say that? Now, listen to this. He's got another very odd thing to say here. Take a listen to this.
One of the things we address very much in the book, and we are concerned, is the increased debt level. We spend about 10 trillion worldwide to deal with the short-term negative effects of the pandemics.
Oh, well, he says we got a debt crisis. In other words, what is this man, this Ein Führer, doing, sitting in his chair, answering questions about all of the world's welfare and what we're going to do about it? Do you really trust this German Führer, this guy that doesn't seem to have any understanding of what it means to be a peasant out here in the world? And, and he's like, well, we've got this world crisis and we've got debt and it's terrible because you peasants are just spending your money on everything and it's ridiculous and we're going to have to do something. We'll have to take away your pacifier, of course. You see, obviously, he's saying that because of the pandemic, we got all these problems. Well, obviously, they caused that problem. And they got a ready-made plan, right? And what is the plan? Well, we're going to have to tighten the belt, and we're going to have to go digital, and we're going to have to, get rid of a bunch of billions of people. Excuse me. He didn't say that. And you better stop it, or we're just going to have to revoke your citizenship in the one world government. Okay. That sounds great for me, because I don't want to be involved with it.
We'll have difficulties to survive. Finally, I just would add, I think this is an opportunity again to find solutions which are beneficial for the next generation. So why not to tie government aid to the green economy which we have to create?
We will have difficulty to survive. And Ein Führer has told me the solution, the final solution. The final solution? Is this the final solution? Because I think the other one you had, wasn't so great. Well, hey, the solution is what? Trying to tie in the green policies. Let me translate. The policy that does not allow you peasants to live. You're not allowed to be on the earth. Your very presence is disturbing them. And this is the real problem, friends. Your existence. And they have the final solution. I guarantee it. But I guarantee it's something else. Their little solution, they don't know it, but it will bring them to ruin. Friends, we're almost there. Now watch this.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great honor to participate for the 8th time at this important meeting, even if only in a virtual way. I would like to express my high respect to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum for having taken the initiative for creating such an important global platform for governments shaping the future.
It is my honor to participate in this global takeover of the world. And I want to thank Your Highness, Mr. Ooh Dabby Wabby Wabby Dooby Dab in the turban. And now, with all of your oil and all of my holy majesty and my mightiness, we will conquer the world together. Excuse me? But am I the only one that just saw this event? Am I the only person that understands what the heck's going on here? Does anybody else realize that this man, who appears to be the chip off the old block of the old Führer, sits down upon his golden throne, and I guess CNN and Fox News and everybody else just lays out all the red carpet and, action, and they get pictures and film this big event, and we're all supposed to gather around and grovel and say, oh, he's gonna save us. Oh, they've got a plan. Oh, the Führer's got a plan. The final solution. And by the way, at the very same time that this is going on, we got some yahoo over there in Britain that decides he's king now. A real king, not just a ceremonial one. And we're all just sucking it up? Who is this guy? I mean, first of all right. Listen, first things first. This guy, Schwab. Who the heck is he? Does anybody know who this guy is? I'm hearing he may be related to the Rothschilds, and then the Snopes is saying, no, that's not true. But we do know one thing. We know his background to the Bavarian people, right? You know what I mean? The Bavarians down there. Well, let me do a little investigation on this guy here just for a second. Let's take a look and see who this guy really is. Okay, well, let's see. Fact check. Was Davos, we're going to use their own article. And this is Newsweek. They're going to do some fact checking, and we're going to find out from their own mouth who this guy, Klaus Schwab, is. And it says, now, their question is, was Davos founder Klaus Schwab's father Hitler's confidant? Well, I don't know. Why are we asking this question? Some people are saying he is, I guess. Well, what do they say? Look down here. The facts. Klaus Schwab has been a frequent target of conspiracy theorists who have invented claims that he was related to the Rothschilds and that he wrote 4 billion people would die through planned epidemics. Okay. Well, is that true? Are we going to find out if that's true or not? I don't know here. The theory that his father was a close confidant of Hitler appears to be part of some misinformation narratives. To start, the photo shared online is not of Eugen Schwab, but of a Nazi general. So, blah, 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 blah. Let me see here. Klaus Schwab's father, on the other hand, was the managing director of a subsidiary of Zurich-based engineering from Isker Weiss. The history of Eugene's relationship with Nazism in general is complex. Well, they're not denying it, but it's complex. With Nazism in general is complex. But there is no substantial evidence of ties to high-ranking German leadership, particularly. Okay, we're going to admit that he was a Nazi, but we're not going to say that we've got any proof that he knew the Führer. Okay, there's no proof of that, you say. But he's a Nazi. A fact check published by accredited German journalist DPA used denazification records to uncover that Eugen Schwab was a member of some National Socialist organizations. All right, that's a N-A-Z-I. Yeah, it's the same thing. They don't want you to make the connection. But that alone does not prove any relationship to the German high command or a belief in their theology or their ideology why he was a member, but that doesn't mean he believed it. And we have no proof that he was, someone who knew Hitler personally. We don't have proof. So it's all lies. Yeah, he was one of those guys, but don't worry about it. While the Esker-Weiss branch in Ravensburg, Germany, which is Eugene managed, he managed it, used prisoners of war, forced laborers. It's not clear whether the company was forced to do so by the NAZISs or because of a lack of workers. Well, he used prisoners of war, forced labor, working on behalf of the German people against the Allies. But it's not clear. Similarly, while Esker-Weiss made a turbine for a Norwegian hydroelectric power station used in the construction of an experimental reactor for military use plutonium. I mean, this guy was like Einstein working for the Germans to build a nuclear bomb, right? This guy was like Werner von Braun, who head up the space agency for the NAZIs, and then came over to America and Project Paperclip, and his relatives are now Elon Musk heading up the same thing here in America in Project Paperclip. But this guy was making reactors for military use plutonium. But whether the Ravensburg branch did so as well is not clear. All right, so it's not completely clear whether we've got absolute details of everything that happened, but we basically know he was a NAZIS. At the end of the Second World War, as Germany attempted to remove the NAZIS and the NAZISM from public life, Schwab was acquitted before a committee investigating prominent public figures. Okay, so he was acquitted, so we can trust them. See, I mean, why was he even brought before an investigative committee? Because there was some suspicion. But they couldn't prove it. So, hey, everything's fine, guys. A translation of DPA's work states, it also seems unlikely, not certain, but unlikely, that Schwab could have successfully denied that he would have been a member of the NSDAP, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, if he were a prominent NAZI. Crucially, there appears to be no evidence to suggest that Eugen Schwab was a confidant of Hitler, as the social media posts state. Okay, thanks for clearing that up for us. Wow. Oh my goodness, what is that? They found some new animal and they've got it in captivity. This is even more important than what we were reading. This is some sort... Oh no, that's a human. Plastic surgery. That's too much for most people. Yeah. But isn't she pretty? Isn't that just beautiful? Oh my goodness, she's just living the dream. Oh boy, I hope everybody gets this procedure, because we'd all look so beautiful then. Yeah, we could look right straight up into somebody's nostrils when they're kissing them, and we darn sure know when we're kissing them, because it might swallow you whole. Wow, just beautiful. Oh, Elon Musk makes a dire prediction about the economy. The billionaire thinks a bold move by the Fed may be more devastating to the economy than current inflation. When is this? September the 10th, 2022. A couple days ago. Inflation is by far the word of the year, 2022. Soaring prices of goods and services that are at the highest in 40 years, which considerably affects the purchasing power of households. To relieve consumers, the Federal Reserve has embarked on an aggressive monetary policy marked by a sharp rise in interest rates, Economists warn that this monetary policy, also observed in other regions of the world, particularly in Europe, with the European Central Bank, risks causing a so-called hard landing for the U.S. economy. Basically, if the Feds continue to be so aggressive in its monetary tightening, it risks causing a recession. Well, friends, my hunch is they're going to do it, and they want to cause a recession or a crash. I think it'll be a crash. And of course, Elon's got to be out front with all of this. You think he's sitting around thinking about all this, or is he actually running a company? No, he's sitting around thinking. No, he's being told he's a spokesman. He's doing nothing. He doesn't know anything about cars. He's not. He might be an engineer. Maybe he went to school, but I don't think he is sitting around thinking about space machines and motors and electrical things and science. I think he's sitting around going out with his girlfriends, partying, and then every so often they're like, okay, on set, action, take, go on to Joe Rogan, do this, go on to Saturday Night Live. When's he get time to be the great genius of the world? He's a spokesman for the elite. He works for Charles Schwab, or Charles Schwab works for him. I think he's just maybe the reincarnation of Werner von Braun. That's my opinion. I think these guys just keep coming back and incarnating and playing the game. But the hard landing is what they're talking about. And before it happens, Elon Musk has got to get out front and say, oh yeah, we don't think this is the right thing to do. Oops. Well, it was just a mistake. Sorry that the whole world crashed and we're going down in flames. Yeah. Meanwhile, they're still making movies. Big Brother on Paramount. Really? Big Brother? Looks like she's flooding. Are they telling us we're going to have a big flood? But we're going to have fun, right? Because there's rafts and, little rubber duckies in the area. It's wonderful. Oh, so many companies have passed their rising costs to consumers by raising the prices of their products. Many firms that have started to lay off workers. Google, the parent company of the internet giant. Well, that's just because they're automated. They've got algorithms doing all their work, shutting everybody down. And I do think they've kind of relaxed their rules a bit. They're now saying it's okay to tell people that there's no, I don't know, something about the thingy, and they're more relaxed on that now. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, believes that if the Fed proceeds as now expected by the markets with a jumbo interest rate hike, the institution will cause deflation. In short, most goods and services will be ridiculously cheap. Well, hey, bring that on. Then we'll all run out and get everything that we need, right? All of our commodities and I don't know, whatever we might need, extra gas and rowboats and hammers and tools, tents, canvases, all this stuff. We'll put it in the back of our truck and we'll head out. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully by this spring I'll be gone. And if I have to leave beforehand, I will. Oh, and look at this on Yahoo. A new clip of King Charles. What do we got a king for? Do we have a king? If we don't have a king, then why are we calling him king? Who said he's a king? I thought we had a parliament over there in Britain. So I'm not really understanding this. Okay, I mean, I know. He's got this honorary title. They're still... I thought we were just continuing on with the charade. I didn't think they had any actual power. Now we've got this guy thinks he's king. Right now, oh, watch this. He's even got servants. A new clip interacting with royal servants. Huh? Oh, they're not really servants, and he's not really a king. Oh, they're just paid. They're just workers. Okay, my point exactly. We're all servants. We're all slaves because we're workers. And we got to do what the master tells us. But you see, they just don't want you to know there's a big illusion going on. The king's not really the king. He's just a set, a stage. We're just pretending. And we're not really slaves. We're just workers. But, yeah, all right. So, Well, what's going on here? In only 2 days, King Charles III has already gotten backlash for a clip that's making its way through Twitter. On September 10th, many people uploaded a video of King Charles interacting with his servants. I just can't get over that they'd actually write that. His servants. Or that we'd be going around talking about the king with a straight face. And we've got people like, oh, I guess the boxing world had to reschedule because we can't have boxing matches when the queen dies. Why, it's so important. We've got to honor the queen, right? Really? Listen, she's a human being. I'll pay my respects for a person who died and everything, and that's, we all love everybody. We're all brothers and sisters, but as the queen, I don't pay any respect. And as the king, I have no respect because you're not my king. So I don't know whose king you are, but you're just a make-believe one in your own mind. The problem is we're all believing it, and we're all getting down and groveling. What the heck? Why are all the movie stars going, well, I've got to pay my respects to the king or the queen who died. Oh, it's going to be terrible. Oh, what a dark winter because the queen has died. Yeah, I am just completely flabbergasted at the ignorance in this world. You say, well, it's not our fault, Dave. We didn't make him king. No, but nobody says anything. Am I the only person that says anything? We got, 1,458 billion YouTubers out there with millions of subscribers. Not one of them says anything. But they're all like, oh, well, let me start my YouTube by saying I'm really just saddened by the death of our queen. No, he's not our queen. We have a parliament government there in Britain, and we have presidential elections over here. We don't have kings and queens. And I know, something people don't even realize, that during the time that Queen Elizabeth was supposedly queen, which is supposed to be just a honorary position, but supposedly we're talking about it as if it's real now, she herself single-handedly colonized most every nation on the face of the earth now are considered a colony of Great Britain. Do you realize this? Yeah, maybe I need to show you that. Let me show you that. All right, listen to this here in the Wikipedia. A list of sovereign states headed by Elizabeth II. The number of states headed by Queen Elizabeth II varied during her 70 years on the throne. On a throne. Are you getting this? On a throne. She sat on a throne. Altogether, seeing her as sovereign, isn't that one of the titles of deity? The sovereign lord or something? Of a total of 32 independent countries during this period, in her capacity as Queen of the United Kingdom, including the British Overseas Territories. She was also monarch of 3 crown dependencies, the Channel Island of Guernsey and Jersey as the Duke of Normandy, and the Isle of Man as the Lord of Man. Oh, she's the Lord of Man, is she? See, she's not just the sovereign, she's the sovereign Lord. And her capacity as Queen of New Zealand. She was monarch of 2 associated states, the Cook Islands and Niue, after they acquired this status in 1965 and 1974, respectively. I see. 2 situations in 2 countries differ from the others. The government of the unrecognized state of Rhodesia proclaimed its allegiance. Is that like, I give my allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and for which it stands, whatever. This allegiance thing, this patriotism, this Lord and sovereign and all of this stuff is blasphemy. Yeah, this is blasphemy. And, I am sick and tired of people saying, well, I'm a Christian, or we're a Christian nation, or all of this gobbledygook. And then we go on to say in the same sentence, long live the Queen, the sovereign, right? Your Majesty, and all of this Blasphemy. Why do we even say it? Why do we think it? Are we nothing but little puppets in their hands? Is your mind silly putty? Why would you ever say that out of your mouth, people? However, she did not accept either the role or the title, and was not accepted or recognized by any other state. Fiji became a republic through a military coup in 1987. Oh, well, they took that one over by a military coup. And after which, its great council of chiefs continued to recognize Elizabeth II as queen, or paramount chief of Fiji, until the council's de-establishment on March 14th, 2012. However, this was only a ceremonial title with no role in government at all. Well, I was always told that the entire monarchy was only a ceremonial monarchy in the first place, since we started electing officials in government. Now we're back to her being the actual queen, and now King Charles is the real king, and he's got authority, and he wields this power and his sovereignty. No, nay, the lordship of earth, of man. This is disgusting, friends. I will not bow the knee, neither will I curtsy to any man or any woman, and neither should you. And this, you might think, is not a problem, not a big deal. It's just words, ceremonial, semantics, Dave. Well, if we've got to the point where we can just go along and carry on with this charade, where we're getting on our knees and bowing and calling them Lord, and we've been doing it for so long, we don't even know what we're doing. It's like some instinctual behavior that we cannot overcome. We just can't seem to figure out that we're free individuals, and what about liberty and justice for all and freedom? I guess they don't have that over there in Britain. I feel very sorry for you British people who are pretending that she's your queen. Or up there in Canada. Here in the United States, we were supposed to have gotten rid of this ridiculousness when we started our Constitution and our government. But it seems like people are still, getting down and groveling, even here. Kissing her ring. I'm sick of this. I just don't understand why you people don't understand any of this, what I'm saying, and you don't stand up to this. Because we're willing to do this. Oh, I just wonder. I'm Christian, and I would never bow to the Antichrist when he comes. Why? I believe in the Lord. I will never do anything like that. That's blasphemy, of course. Oh, look there's the queen. Oh, get down and grovel, Your Honor. Oh, let's go into the courtroom. Your Honor, Your Honor. Oh, Your Majesty. Do you go to the magistrate court and get down and grovel before them? Do you realize when you call somebody Mr., you're saying master? Do you know that the word master is the same as Baal? It's the same word. That's the Hebrew version of that word master. It means Lord. Don't ever do it again, friends. Don't ever do it again. Because it is wrong. And we shouldn't be thinking anyone, either religious leaders, and especially not political leaders, that they would be some sort of a salvation, or that somehow they could give us the freedoms and the rights that we deserve. Our rights do not come from politics, from government. Our rights come from the Lord Jesus Christ. Oh, President Trump. Oh, he's our savior. What's wrong with you people? You better straighten up. You better stop it. You better get it through your head. Or else you're going to see something coming down the pike that you ain't going to like. You're always a slave to anyone that you allow yourself to be a slave to. I think you're just a slave to your own bellies, which the Bible accurately predicted. So these are all the kingdoms she rules. United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Pakistan, Ceylon, South, I forgot that one. Ghana, Nigeria. Really? You think the Africans are really considering her their queen? That's slavery. That's disgusting. Why don't they have their own queen with their own color of skin? Because they're slaves still. Even the ones here in America, and even us, yeah, here in America, and all around the world, in India, and what other country, Canada, New Zealand, all these countries. Oh, yeah, but in places like Australia and New Zealand, the natives are on some sort of, I don't know, what do you call it, concentration camp. They're not allowed to, be actual citizens, really. They're just experimented on by the real royal bloodlines like Bill Gates, right? Where Elon Musk are experimenting with them. Sierra, Tanganyika, Jamaica, brother, Trinidad, Uganda, Kenya, Malawi. I guess all the countries that she takes over are these little islands and tribes and stuff like that. Maybe she gets off on thinking she's the queen of all of these native peoples around the world. Malta. Oh, yeah. The island of Malta, where her, where all the elite sit around the table and make the decisions for all the world. You don't think this is real? No, they accept her really as queen. And now they're going to accept this man as king. And he has a lot of power. Him and Charles Schwab. Because they've made a deal. I guarantee it. Gambia, Rhodesia, Guyana, Barbados, Mauritius, Fiji, the Bahamas, Grenada, Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Tuvalu, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Belize, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis. Very interesting and ridiculous. Prince William ripped on social media. Prince Harry praised for treatment of Meghan Markle in viral video. That's why I was watching that video. I thought maybe it was about that. It was the reunion to end all reunions. The new Princess of Wales mourning the loss of Queen Elizabeth II, alongside the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. With the highly anticipated gathering of Prince William and Prince Harry and their wives came an influx of analysis of how the royals interacted with one another, as their tumultuous relationship still remains center stage. Well, I'm not sure I believe any of this. I think this is probably another staged event. The whole Harry versus William thing. I just think it's something for us to talk about, right? Who cares what they're doing, right? Look, I don't mind Harry. I don't know who he is. I don't care, right? He's not somebody I know. Unless he's some kind of royal-blooded, god or something, we shouldn't care. Oh, he is. Oh, no, okay. Sorry, I didn't understand there for a second. However, in a viral video shared across multiple platforms, social media users erupted with criticism for the Prince of Wales, the next royal to inherit the crown, for his apparent lack of chivalry with wife Kate Middleton, whilst praising the Duke of Sussex for his treatment of wife Meghan Markle. See how they're trying to, on one hand, say that King Charles is God and blah, 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 and we have to, get down and curtsy. And on the other hand, they're like, oh, well, Harry and whatever his girl's name is, they're like black sheep. They're outcasts. They don't want anything to do with this royal stuff. And so it's like a little bit of candy for everybody, right? This is a smorgasbord, and whatever you want, you can go to social media and you can find your heroes, and you can just get down and grovel and worship anybody you want. As the two couples prepared to depart The massive crowd outside of Windsor Castle gathering. Why is there a massive crowd outside of Windsor Castle? You know, one of us peasants dies and we're lucky if we get Aunt Bella to attend, right? Prince Harry can be seen ushering his wife to their shared car. Oh, that poor man's going to share a car with his wife, attentively opening and closing the door for her, while the Prince and Princess of Wales separately enter the car. Well, maybe it's because they're a little more, I don't know, maybe they weren't told that they were being filmed or something, and Harry was. You know, of course you'd do that if you were being filmed. Meghan Markle cancels U.S. events coinciding with Queen's funeral amid speculation over her attendance. Fans eviscerated the elder monarch. This is just ridiculous, and I don't want to even read this, but holy moly woly. Woo-wee. It's even on the old TikTok. Everybody talking about these idiots. It's just crazy in my book. Oh, and then here's another. So I'm just clicking this stuff, and this is what's coming up on my search feed or whatever it is. King Charles doesn't have to pay inheritance tax on the Queen's private estate worth more than $750 million. Well, what gives him the right to not have to pay taxes? Right? Oh, because he's the king, Dave. Oh, I thought this was ceremonial and only in name. But now he's actually the king. That means he's actually going to rule over your life, you little peasant, you little servant. And there's Elon Musk's dire prediction about the economy. Oh, look at this one. More disinformation. Russian soldiers are dropping their rifles and fleeing in disguise to escape Ukraine's counteroffensive. This is what they're telling us over and over again over here in the media, that Russia's losing and the Ukraine's winning. Don't worry about it. Meanwhile, Europe has no oil. Russia has bombed with missiles all of the electric plants. They're not going to have any electricity. And this is for all of Ukraine and different countries like probably Austria and Romania and Europe and all of this, and France and Germany's got no oil. But they're great, man. They're winning. Ukraine forces have recaptured swaths of territory from Russia. Russian soldiers tried to flee in any way they could. I think this is outright lies, because as we reported yesterday, there are reports coming from other sources saying that the battle is heavy and thousands upon thousands of Ukrainian soldiers are dying in the battle. And as we speak, Russia is bringing in reinforcements. And they are bombing the electric plants. They've got control of the Ukraine nuclear plant, which they are shutting down. So there will not be any more electricity or oil or gas or anything. Probably no food. You can't get food into the markets without gas and oil and electricity. Refrigeration is necessary for our way of life. And some Russian soldiers stole bicycles. This is all made up. Can you believe this crap? Others disguised themselves as locals. This is just propaganda. Really, really, really bad. And they think they're going to get away with all of this. Well, they will for a little while, till the Lord comes back. Well, Dave, where's all the positivity? I mean, this is just negative. This is just bad news all the time. And just sounds like you're a sourpuss. I mean, you know, can't you say something nice? Well, a lot of you probably don't believe me, because obviously you wouldn't be saying that if it were true. I mean, if I came and told you, hey, your house is on fire, and got you out safe, would you be mad at me? No, you'd be like, thank you. I could have died in that house. It was on fire. All right, well, that makes me think that you believe that I'm just a doomsday prophet, that I'm just telling people fibs and extreme conspiracy theories and it's not true. Well, that must mean that you believe in the going story, right? You accept the scientific view, right? You will believe scientists over anything that anybody else says, right? Over the Bible, over your own eyes, or whatever what the scientists say it, then you'll believe it, right? Have I got that right? Well, can I interest you in a little bit more here before you click off? I need to show you something. This is from The Guardian, a highly respected web article, whatever it is here. Oh man, that don't look good. Look at those fires. Well, it says top scientists warn. Oh, some stupid little unknown science. No, top scientists warn of ghastly future, of mass extinction and climate disruption. Sobering new report says world is failing to grasp the extent of threats posed by biodiversity loss and the climate crisis. Wonder what this is about. The planet is facing a ghastly future of mass extinction, declining health, and climate disruption upheavals that threaten human... Wait a minute. Did somebody trick me and I turned to Matthew chapter 25? Is this Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, right? You know, I warn you, don't believe them. The world's going to be destroyed. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, food shortages and pestilences in one place. No, this is not Jesus' sermon. This is the top scientists of the world today, the people that you believe in. I'm just reading from your prophets. I already told you my prophets and what they say. They say it's over. Now, because you don't believe in my prophets, I'm going to read from your own prophets. Okay? Your prophets say that it's going to threaten human survival because of ignorance and inaction. Are you ignorant? Are you not doing anything? Are you inactive on this? According to an international group of scientists who warn people still haven't grasped the urgency of the biodiversity climate crisis. The 17 experts, including Professor Paul Ehrlich from Stanford, oh my goodness, a Stanford University person. You got to respect that. He went to school. Author of The Population Bomb. And so, wait a minute now. Elon says not enough people being born. Well, who knows, but something bad's going on here. And scientists from Mexico, Australia, and the United States say the planet is in a much worse state than most people, even scientists, understood. Even their own prophets don't even understand how bad it is, according to this. Yeah, they knew it back down there in 1980 with Gorbachev and Reagan. See, they were working together then, and they're still working together. What's this about Mar-a-Lago? Oh, well, I don't know. The scale of the threats to the biosphere and all of its life forms, including humanity, is in fact so great that it is difficult to grasp for even well-informed experts. They write in a report in Frontiers in Conservative Science, which references more than 150 studies detailed the world's major environmental challenges. The delay between destruction of the natural world and the impacts of these actions means people do not recognize how vast the problem is. The paper argues the mainstream is having difficulty grasping the magnitude of this loss, despite the steady erosion of the fabric of human civilization. Wow, such big words. It's very eloquent as well. But, wow, this is really bad. The report warns that climate-induced mass migrations, more pandemics, can we say that word now? Oh, well, they're saying it. And conflicts over resources will be inevitable. Oh, it's going to be inevitable. Unless urgent action is taken. But you don't think there's anything to worry about. So don't worry, just go back to sleep. Ours is not a call to surrender. We aim to provide leaders with a realistic cold shower of the state of the planet. That is essential for planning to avoid a ghastly future. So they say it's going to happen, although we disagree on why. They say it's because of you peasants going outside and peeing on the ground. I say it's because of them, and they're planning it, and they're telling you, and they're literally trying to destroy the earth. Now, the Bible tells you they're ruining the earth, and that Jesus is coming to destroy those who are ruining the earth. It says that in the book of Revelation. So I will prefer Jesus over them. I don't know about you, but either way, we're in a heap of trouble, and something's got to be done. Dealing with the enormity of the problem requires far-reaching changes to global capitalism, education, and equality, the paper says. Oh, finally, we're going to have equality. So these buffoons up there in their white castles on the hill, are they going to come down here and live with us peasants and stop flying all over the country in their jets and stuff? And their fancy cars? Are they going to get rid of all this garbage? Or is this just a bunch of hot air? Well, this includes abolishing the idea of perpetual economic growth. Yeah, why don't we just abolish the whole idea of cities, finances, capitalism, communism, and let's just go back to being human beings. How about that? Oh, no, Dave. No. Everybody knows that Jesus was a capitalist. See? So if you're not a capitalist, then you're not a Christian. And you're not right in the head. You're sick. You're crazy if you think we should actually go back to the land and start working the land and be farmers and stuff like this. I mean, can you imagine going to, I don't know, a group of native peoples maybe 5, 7, 8, 900 years ago here in America, and you went there with a microphone and you said, now, excuse me, are you capitalist? Are you communist? Right? Are you a socialist? What do you prefer? What type of government? And they would look at you like, what the heck? No, this is war. What are you talking about? Bringing in civilization? We don't want your daggum civilization. We want our families to be safe. We want to enjoy our life here because it's a beautiful, beautiful place and we don't need it. Your capitalism or your communism. Thank you very much. Anyway, guys, we're just about up to about an hour, and I think I'm kind of tired of looking at all this bad news. I don't know about you, but guys, remember the good news. Jesus loves you, and there is a real world. It's not this fake propaganda that you're seeing on television. And everything's going to be fine. They haven't got any authority over us. The one thing that these idiots cannot do is anything that actually ever turns out right. They're bumbling idiots. And the Bible says that when this all goes down, it's going to be the same for the rich and the poor, the small and the great, and everybody's going to appear before the judgment seat of Christ. Just all you got to do is love the Lord and love your neighbor. And let's go out there and tell everybody the good news. I'm going to go ahead and go. You guys have a wonderful day. May the Lord bless you. See you tomorrow.